What does a traumatic brain injury look like? When you look exactly the same as you did before your injury, nobody can see the suffering you're going through. Nobody can see the excruciating pain you have to deal with every single day. I was only 19 when I had my injury, and nobody could understand. The first week was great. People sent cards, flowers, get well soons, but sympathy fades and the injury doesn't. Outsiders were expecting a quick, linear recovery, but this wasn't a broken ankle. This was a broken brain. My recovery is going to last a lifetime. Soon came comments from people I knew. For example, a boyfriend told me my brain injury was too great of a burden for him to bear. My best friend at school told me dropping out of college was harder on her than it was for me. Also, people just fell out of touch. Nobody wants to be brought down all the time, so people just stopped communicating. There were also comments that I would just get from strangers. Why are you wearing sunglasses inside? It doesn't really need to be gluten-free, right? Why is this teenage girl getting pushed in a cart by her mother at a store? From an outsider's perspective, I look completely normal. I would go out to eat and have fun with friends. However, I would be armed with nausea bands, painkillers, earplugs. And the entire day before that, I would rest up. And the entire week after, I would have to rest and recover. But again, I look normal. They would ask, if you can go out to dinner like this, why aren't you back in school? Why don't you have a job? There's so many instances of discrimination against the invisible disability community. For example, a chief neurologist once told me that the idea that I would ever go back to school was laughable. It's so easy to focus on instances like this. However, it's also really easy to focus on the goodness of people, the kindness of strangers, the kindness of your support system. A professor once stayed in his office and dried my tears with microscope slide wipes. My friend ran a fundraiser as a yoga teacher to raise money for traumatic brain injury. My mom gave up all semblance of a life to be my caretaker. Strangers are also incredibly kind. People would bring me water when they heard me getting sick in a public restroom. Sometimes someone else with migraines would say, "Oh, I have to wear sunglasses inside also." There's no greater community than the invisible disabilities community. Everyone understands what it's like to go through such a painful recovery. Nobody wants someone else to have to suffer like they do. Everyone wants to offer advice on their tips and treatments because they know the struggle. I'm offering all my tips and treatments on my Instagram, Concussion Game Plan, for all the treatments, tips, and coping strategies for traumatic brain injury. Nobody should have to fight alone. These tips won't be lost in the depths of the internet anymore. They're going to be accessible and we can find them. We don't have to be invisible.